The hooligans beat the guy. They tell him not to dare to come close to the girl. The attackers are stopped by an unfamiliar guy. He demands to stop immediately and stop the beating. The stranger's name is Linmu, a business college student from a wealthy family. Linmu kicks the guy and says that if he gets close to the girl again, his legs will be broken. Linmu leaves with his subordinates. He tells them that is enough for today. The main character's name is Zhao. He intends to take revenge on his offenders in the near future. Zhao is in severe pain and is trying to get back on his feet. He needs to get to the university as soon as possible. Suddenly, the guy hears a voice that tells him that the owner has been activated and a scan is expected. Zhao realizes that the strange voice came from the ring lying on the ground. He picks it up and examines it carefully. The voice informs the guy that he is the chosen one, and the virtual god communicates with Zhao through the ring. The voice asks the guy to put the ring on his hand. Zhao fulfills the voice's demands and starts the scanning process. The guy completes the scanning process. The information received greatly shocks him. The city is completely destroyed. Crowds of aggressive zombies roam its streets. Vile creatures attack the surviving people and destroy them. The guy asks the ring about what happened. The voice says that Zhao saw information about the end of the world and stored it in his memory. Zhao doesn't want to believe what he saw. He believes that everything that happened was someone's bad joke, and tries to take off the ring. The guy is in severe pain. A voice tells him that if the ring is on, the owner cannot remove it on his own. The voice tells Zhao that if you rub the ring, you can launch a virtual space that has the ability to contact objects from the real world. A huge cube appears in front of the guy, which is a system for exchanging resources and weapons. There is a shopping system and the virtual storage resources can be purchased by killing other zombies. One of the most valuable items is antivirus serum. The voice tells Zhao that there is very little time left before the disaster begins, and the guy needs to carefully prepare for it. Zhao packs a large bag with food, water, and necessary items that will help him survive at first. A guy comes to a university dormitory where he is met by his roommate, whose name is Bean. Zhao tells his roommate that tomorrow will be the end of the world, and the world will be overrun by zombies. The guys in the room are surprised by Zhao's words. Zhao's classmates do not take his warning seriously. They believe that the guy simply overplayed computer games. They call Zhao a poor loser and plan to visit an internet cafe. Zhao demands that his friend believe him and take his words seriously. The main character and his friend Bean use furniture to barricade the entrance to the room. For a long time, they sit near the front door, waiting for a zombie attack. Bean gets tired of waiting and falls asleep. The night flies by. Bean says that during this time, nothing unusual happened. Zhao answers the guy. He tells him that he cannot relax, since mortal enemies are somewhere nearby. Bean is about to leave the main character and go to bed as he is tired of the pointless waiting and is tired. Suddenly, they start knocking hard on the barricaded door, and loud cries for help are heard in the corridor. Bean is very scared. He asks Zhao about the reason for the terrible screams coming from the corridor. Zhao and his friend go to the window to look out at the street. The city street is captured by a large number of aggressive zombies. They attack people who did not have time to hide. Bean begins to become very hysterical. He strongly doubts the veracity of his friend's stories. Zhao's voice is heard. He asks Bean to calm down. The guy tells him that they need to hide until the zombies leave. Zhao invites his friend to find a place where they can hide. He says that the zombies have not yet evolved much and they have time. Zhao is going to go down to the first floor to the fire shield to arm himself with an axe. The guy understands that it will be much easier for him to fight zombies if he is armed. Zhao asks Bean not to open the front doors for anyone after he leaves. Bean asks the guy to return quickly and be extremely careful. Bean is overcome by a strong feeling of fear. He does not want to be alone, and asks Zhao to take him with him. Zhao agrees to take the guy with him, but only on the condition that he does not interfere with him. A zombie is slowly moving along the deserted corridor of a student dormitory. Zhao runs sharply around the corner and delivers a strong kick to the zombie in the corridor. The guy tries to reach the fire shield as quickly as possible. He asks his friend to move faster and keep up. After some time, Zhao reaches the fire shield. He invites Bean to go out for reconnaissance. The guys go outside and see a huge number of zombies standing in their way. Bean begins to feel unwell and has difficulty controlling his gag reflex. On the podium are classmates Bean and Zhao. They are fiercely fighting off the zombies attacking them. The group leader urges the students to stop pushing and panicking as they may fall off the podium. Zhao intends to use the abandoned van to distract the zombies, allowing his classmates to escape. The main character reports his plan to Bean and asks the guy to help his classmates. Zhao convinces his friend to trust him and put all doubts out of his head. The main character in short dashes approaches the treasured van. Zhao starts the car and presses the accelerator pedal with all his might. The minivan crashes into a crowd of aggressive zombies at full speed, and from the strong impact, they scatter in all directions. Bean urges his classmates not to waste time and escape as quickly as possible. The class elder thanks Bean for the unexpected rescue. The guy replies that they should thank Zhao for their help. Bean invites the class elder and classmates to take refuge in the library building. The guy leaves his classmates. He intends to help his friend Zhao as quickly as possible. Zombies surround the car. They break its windows in order to get inside. Zhao prudently managed to leave the car and hid behind a tree standing nearby. The guy stands behind a tree and doesn't notice how someone's hand is reaching out to him from behind. Noticing the hand in time, Zhao grabs it and swings the fire axe to strike. Bean's loud scream is heard. He asks the guy to stop and not harm him. Zhao says he was scared to death and asks his friend to never do that again. Bean says he helped his classmates and directed them to the university library. Zhao finds the library a good refuge and invites Bean to join his classmates. In short dashes, so as not to attract the attention of zombies, Zhao and his friend head to the library. While running, Bean drops a trash can, which attracts the attention of nearby zombies. A huge number of zombies rush at the fleeing guys. Zhao demands his friend to keep up and move faster. The guys reach the main entrance to the library. They knock on the front door and ask to be let in. The class elder demands that Zhao and his friend be allowed inside. Immediately, those around her do not agree with her. They are afraid that zombies may get inside. The guy standing near the door stops the class leader. He doesn't want to put the students hiding in the library at risk. The class elder demands that the guys be released immediately. She says that thanks to them, everyone survived. The guy standing at the door is called Li Sun. He hits the class elder with a strong blow. Li Sun tells those present that under no circumstances should they open the door, as zombies will enter the room and destroy everyone. Classmates silently look at the class elder. They fear for their lives, and agree with Li Sun's words. The guy calls the class elder a stupid woman. He demands not to put his life in danger. Bean demands that Li Sun immediately stop beating the class elder. He threatens to deal with the guy when he gets inside. Bean understands that no one will open the door for them. He does not know what to do next, and asks Zhao for advice. The main character demands his friend stop the hysteria, and orders him to follow him. The guys manage to escape and hide in a nearby gateway. Bean asks Zhao for forgiveness for his slowness. Zhao asks his friend not to be upset and to focus his thoughts on salvation. The guy is very angry that Li Sun dared to hit the class elder. He's going to take revenge on him. The guys walk around the library building. Zhao suggests getting inside using an unlocked window. Zhao enters the room through a window and opens the front door to let his friend in. On the ground floor, in the large hall of the academic library, the surviving students are located. The girl reassures the class leader. She asks her how she feels. The girl's conversation is interrupted by Li Sun, who once again scolds the class elder for endangering the lives of the students. The girl tells Li Sun that they are alive thanks to Zhao and his friend, and their classmates did not let them inside. Li Sun advises the girl to keep her mouth shut and not irritate him. Otherwise, he threatens to physically punish the girl. The girl tells Li Sun that he is selfish and a complete bastard who only thinks about himself. Suddenly, the conversation is interrupted by Zhao. He approaches Li Sun and strikes him with a strong blow. Bean grabs Li Sun by the breasts. He's very unhappy that the guy did not let them inside. Li Sun answers Bean. He says that he did it for the safety of his classmates. Zhao believes that Li Sun is right, since if zombies burst into the room, they would destroy all the people. People around ask the guys to stop making too much noise, as this may attract the attention of zombies. Bean believes that Li Sun is taking advantage of her classmates' fears for her own personal gain. The class elder approaches the guys and says that she's glad to see them healthy and unharmed. The class elder thanks Zhao and his friend for saving them from certain death. Zhao approaches Li Sun. The main character cannot hide his irritation. He stabs Li Sun and tells him to never dare to raise a hand against the class elder in the future. Li Sun is enraged by Zhao's actions and curses him with anger. Zhao does not allow Li Sun to finish. He demands to be silent immediately and deals him another powerful blow. The main character informs Li Sun that if he ever raises his hand against defenseless girls again, he will be severely punished. Zhao asks the class elder not to be afraid of anything, and in case of any problems, immediately inform him. The class elder apologizes to Zhao for not being able to open the front doors for them. Bean asks the girl not to worry. He tells the class elder that this is not her fault. The class elder declares that she is not worthy of such a title because she was unable to protect her classmates. Zhao tells the girl that for him, she is the best class elder he has ever known. The girl cannot contain her emotions. She clings to Zhao and begins to sob loudly. The main character tells the girl that as long as he is alive, he will protect her. Zhao asks the class elder how long ago she saw a girl named Xin. The class elder's name is Tong. She tells the guy that the last time she saw Xin was in the square. Tong asks the guys for a phone to call her parents. The girl couldn't reach them after the zombies appeared. The guys say that their phones do not receive a signal. They believe that there is no connection not only in the city, but throughout the whole world. Zhao tries to calm the girl down. He says that her parents are alive and hiding in a safe place. The students are very hungry. They complain to each other about the lack of food and water. One of the students expresses his dissatisfaction. He is tired of the complaints of his classmates. Another student does not support him and responds rudely to him. A conflict is brewing in the group of students. Zhao and his friends notice that their classmates are starting to argue, but they are in no hurry to intervene in the dispute. Tong wants to intervene and calm her classmates. Zhao stops her. He says that this is a useless and dangerous activity. Classmates sort things out, trying to find those responsible for their current situation. Students begin searching for water and food, but this does not bring any results. The students are about to go to the second floor. They think there might be food in the principal's office. The students are stopped by a group of hooligans who have taken over the second floor of the building. Bean wonders. He doesn't understand how a group of local hooligans took over the second floor and what they are doing there. One of the students goes up to the leader of the hooligans, Linmu. He makes excuses to him and says that they wanted to find food or water. The leader of the hooligans, Linmu, kicks the guy. The student falls down. Classmates are very outraged by Linmu's behavior. Their loud indignation can be heard. The girl approaches the guy who was attacked by Linmu and asks him how he is feeling. Linmu declares to his classmates that from now on the stairs are the boundary, and the second floor is his territory. The students listen attentively to Linmu. The leader of a gang of hooligans declares that he will kill anyone who dares to cross the border. Linmu tells the students that he has a lot of food upstairs, and anyone who wants to eat can exchange it for their valuables. Bean expresses his opinion to his friends. The guy considers such actions outrageous. Linmu calls the girl's boyfriend a freak and invites her to go with him if she agrees. He promises her a lot of food. Such statements make the girl wildly furious. She hits Linmu on the hand, knocking out a package of food from her. The girl's reaction infuriates Linmu, and he hits her hard. Linmu grabs the girl by the hair and demands an immediate apology from her. The class elder asks Linmu to stop bullying his classmate immediately. Tong appeals to the conscience of the leader of the hooligans. The girl says that in this situation, everyone should be more united. The class elder states that the library is a public place and the food in it belongs to everyone. Linmu tells Tong that all the teachers are dead and now no one can protect the girl. The leader of the bullies orders his subordinates to attack the class elder. Linmu's subordinates happily begin to carry out their master's orders. Zhao stands up for the girl. He comes forward, holding an axe in his hand, and asks Linmu not to go too far. Linmu demands Zhao to step aside and threatens him with a painful death if he disobeys the order. Zhao tells the leader of the hooligans that his time has passed, and as a sign of his strength, he hits the doorway with an axe. The subordinates of the leader of the hooligans, Linmu, ask not to contact Zhao, since the guy is armed and serious. Linmu once again announces to his classmates that the entire second floor belongs to him personally. The leader of the hooligans and his subordinates retire to their floor, their classmates silently watching them. Linmu demands that his subordinates immediately find him some weapons. Bean believes that Linmu greatly frightened the class elder. He tries to calm the girl down. Zhao tells his friends that in extreme situations, people reveal their inner nature. The guy asks Tong to change his attitude towards people. He is afraid that the girl may suffer because of her character. Bean says that he will always protect the girl. Tong thanks the guys for their support. Tong believes that the students are safe for now, but she fears that sooner or later they will all starve to death. Zhao believes that students should not openly confront the gang of bullies as there are too many of them. He invites his friends to explore the surrounding area to find water or food. Among the students, there is a girl named Shin. She looks blankly at her neighbor on her desk. The girl's friend asks Shin if she is okay. She is worried about the girl's appearance. Zhao and his friends slowly walk through the deserted corridors of the library. The guy is about to leave the room in the library and go to the cafe located opposite. He asks his friends to open the door for him upon his return. Tong asks the guy to stay in the library. She considers such an outing dangerous, since there are a lot of dangerous zombies on the streets. Zhao asks his friends not to worry about him. He tells them that everything will be fine. Bean hopes that his friend will not be noticed by the zombies and will return safe and sound. Zhao moves along the street in short dashes. He hopes that the zombies on the street will not notice him. In one of the gateways, a guy notices dead students. He decides to take away food and water that they no longer need. Zhao opens the dead student's backpack and sees a large amount of water and food in it. The main character activates his ring to launch a vault into which he will place the necessary items. The guy decides to completely fill the storage, since over time it will be more and more difficult to find food. Hey, dear YouTube viewer, let's play a game. Leave a comment under the video. The one whose comment gets the least likes will win. Good luck, and have a good mood today, you my beloved. I love you. You're cool. You're the best. That's it. I'm leaving. I love you. I kiss you. A loud, terrible roar distracts Zhao from filling the vault, and the guy slowly turns around. Screaming loudly, a huge 2-meter zombie attacks the main character. Zhao dodges the attacking zombie and hits him hard with a fire axe. The guy realizes that the noise of the fight has attracted the attention of the zombies around him, and they slowly begin to surround him. Zhao notices a window and tries to use it to escape inside the building. The main character finds himself in the kitchen of a large restaurant. He hopes to find a large amount of food. Zhao finds a large container with a lot of cooked rice inside. Bean and the class elder hear a knock on the door and Zhao's voice. The guy asks his friends to let him in. Tong rushes to the guy and hugs him tightly. The girl is very happy that the guy returned safe and sound. Bean tells his friend that the class elder was very worried about him. Zhao tells his friends that he did not return empty-handed and invites them to eat rice. The friends happily eat the offered treat. They have not eaten hot food for a very long time. The class elder asks Zhao why the guy doesn't eat with them. Zhao responds to his friends. He says that he already ate at the cafeteria and takes out full bottles of drinking water from his bag. The voice of the main character is heard asking his friends not to tell their classmates about the food, as he fears that they may be attacked. Bean considers such actions fair, since none of their classmates helped them, and Zhao risked his life. Zhao approaches the front door. He realizes that zombies are very close. The main character understands that a long absence will arouse suspicion among his classmates and offers to join them. Linmu comes down from the second floor, and in a mocking manner he tells his classmates that he is very worried about them. Zhao invites his friends not to react to such provocations, since the gang of hooligans is very strong. Linmu approaches Shin and tells the girl that he has food and water. He invites her to join him. Bean watches their conversation carefully, knowing that his friend has a thing for Shin. Shin's friend says that they haven't eaten anything for a long time, and if Linmu gives them some food and water, they will be grateful to him. Linmu orders his subordinate to immediately provide water and food to Shin and her friend. The leader of the hooligans tells Shin that she is in an unsafe place and invites the girl to go with him to the second floor. Shin thanks Linmu for the food and water, and tells the guy that she intends to stay with her classmates. Linmu grabs the girl's hand. Shin's friend tries to calm the guy down and asks him to let the girl go. The leader of the bullies orders Shin's friend to shut up immediately and threatens to beat her up. Shin does not intend to tolerate the guy's boorish behavior. She calls Linmu a disgusting freak and hits him in the face. The girl says that she does not intend to obey Linmu's orders and tolerate his vile behavior. She throws food and water at Linmu's subordinate and demands that the bullies leave. Linmu says that he will wait a few days and enjoy the moment when the girl begs for food on her lap. Shin's friend calms the girl down. She is very outraged by the behavior of the leader of the hooligans. Tong is very worried about the girl and tells his friends that Shin is in serious danger. Zhao is pleased with Shin's reaction. He would start to despise the girl greatly if she went up to the second floor. The guy approaches Shin and her friend and asks if the girl is okay. The girl's friend asks Zhao not to disturb Shin and let her calm down and rest a little. Zhao is not going to bother the girls. The guy offers them water and food. The main character asks Shin and her friend to accept some food and water from him. The guy says that he does not pursue selfish interests, and says that he just wants to help the girls. Lisun stands on the threshold of the hooligan leader's office, asking to listen to him. Linmu asks the guy why he is taking up his precious time. Lisun tells the leader of the hooligans that they had a very good relationship in the past, and says that he can be very useful in the gang. Linmu asks to name at least one reason why he should accept the guy into the gang. Lisun promises to bring the leader a woman he likes. Shin's friend was very surprised by Zhao's action. She asks what the relationship was between them. Shin answers his friend. She says that she doesn't know Zhao at all. They were just in the same class together. The girl tells Shin that they are in great danger, and the best way to protect themselves is to find someone they can rely on. Shin's friend's name is Eliza. She believes that Zhao is an attractive young man who can protect them. Zhao asks his friend why the class elder is depressed. Bean tells Zhao that Tong was very upset about his communication with Shin. Zhao's conversation with his friends is interrupted by the loud impact of a body falling from the second floor. Zhao pushes his classmates aside and wants to get closer to find out what's going on. A gloomy sight appears in front of the guy. A dead girl lies on the floor, having fallen from the second floor. Lisun tells his new master that he will bring him a new girl in the near future. Zhao's heart is filled with anger and hatred. The guy wants to avenge the girl, but he understands that this is impossible now, since the Linmu group is very strong. Zhao approaches the murdered girl. He covers her with his jacket and reads a farewell prayer. Lisun informs his new master that his classmates were greatly affected by the girl's murder, and they intend to take revenge. Zhao says that Linmu will sooner or later pay for his crimes and beg for mercy. Night has fallen. Tired and exhausted students sleep on the floor of the first floor. A loud noise wakes up Zhao. The guy opens his eyes. He is very frightened by incomprehensible sounds. A large crowd of zombies has found an emergency exit to the library and is trying to break down the doors to get inside. Students panic. They are very frightened and run chaotically around the floor. Zhao orders his classmates to calm down and begin barricading the door to prevent the zombies from breaking in. The guy tries to run to the emergency exit as quickly as possible as he considers it the weakest point of the building. One of the students turns into a zombie. Her classmates don't understand how this could happen. The zombie stands in front of the students and looks attentively at his classmates. After a moment, the zombie lets out a loud scream and rushes at the students. The guy can't stand on his feet and falls to the floor, attracting the attention of zombies. The monster sees a guy lying on the floor. She screams loudly and attacks him. Suddenly, Zhao comes to the rescue and slashes the zombies with his fire axe. The students have barricaded the front door, but are finding it very difficult to hold back the onslaught of zombies. The back door of the library opens and a huge crowd of aggressive zombies rushes into the room. The zombies move towards the students, and Zhao's voice is heard, ordering the students to run away. Zhao shouts to his friend. He asks Bean to stay with the class elder and protect her. Creepy creatures have broken into the library and are attacking defenseless people. The surviving people run to the stairs, trying to escape on the second floor of the building. One of the students suggests going up to the curator's office to hide there. Access to the second floor of the library has been blocked by hooligans led by Linmu, who are refusing to help students in trouble. In the crowd of people distraught with horror is Shin. The girl is disoriented and very scared. Zhou finds Shin in a crowd of people and invites the girl to follow him to save her life. The guy asks the girl to trust him. He promises to take her to a safe and secure place. Zhao and his friends run down the corridor to the far end of the building. Young people run into the men's toilet, which has a window leading to the street. Zhao tells his friends that almost all the zombies have entered the library, so there aren't many left outside. The main character invites Bean to pick it up so his friend can see what is happening on the street. Bean tells his friends that there are no zombies on the street, and there is a parked car in the playground. Zhao invites the girls to take turns going outside using an open window. Shin is very happy that Zhao is constantly taking care of her, and thanks the guy for his help. The class elder asks Zhao what he's going to do after everyone is outside. The guy asks the girl not to worry. He says that he has a plan for further action. Tong does not want to leave his classmates in trouble. Zhao asks the girl to calm down. He says that nothing can be done to help them. Zhao asks the girl not to waste time, since the zombies are very close. Tong agrees to leave the men's room, but before doing so, she wants to share important information with the guy. The girl confesses her love to Zhao and hopes that they both will survive. Zhao helps Tong get out. The guy hears zombies trying to break down the door in the men's room. In order for Tong to get out, Zhao rushes to the door and holds back the crowd of zombies. Tong's cry is heard. The guy turns to the girl and orders her not to wait for him, but to run away. Tong jumps down and joins his classmates outside. Zhao's friends hear the voice of a guy who demands not to wait for him and go to a safe place. Young people run to the playground, where there is a parked car. A crowd of angry zombies broke down the door to the men's restroom and surrounded Zhao. Dozens of zombies growl loudly and rush at the guy. He fights off the monsters with a fire axe. Bean and the girls get to a parked car. The guy tries to start the engine. Tong tells Bean that she can't leave now. She demands to wait for Zhao. The girl insists that they cannot stay in the parking lot, as zombies will soon appear here and eat them all. Shin's friend asks to leave immediately and not wait for Zhao. She believes that the guy may already be dead. Tong gets out of the car and intends to go back to the men's room to get Zhao. Bean tries to stop her. The guy says that he promised Zhao to protect Tong and does not want the girl to die in vain. Bean contacts the class elder. He claims that Zhao will return as he must have a plan. Tong does not believe that Zhao can cope with a large number of zombies alone. Bean persuades her to return to the car. Bean presses the gas pedal and the young people drive away to safety. Dozens of destroyed zombies lie on the floor of the men's restroom in the library. Zhao slowly walks through the university stadium. The guy has no strength left after the fight with the zombies. He takes a few steps, loses consciousness, and falls onto the treadmill. A voice appears in his mind, warning him that his life is in danger, and it is necessary to urgently use medicine to neutralize the virus. Using the ring, Zhao activates the virtual storage and takes out the flask with the medicine. He's very worried about the possible consequences, but understands that he has no choice. The guy injects himself with the vaccine. The next morning, Zhao comes to his senses, feeling severe pain throughout his body. Zhao is glad that he is alive. He realizes that he has no mutations or serious bodily injuries. The guy hears the voice of a virtual god, who reports that he has successfully evolved into the second class out of 19 available. Without feeling much change in his body, Zhao sets out to test how much his physical strength has improved. The main character deals a powerful blow to a stone column. A huge stone breaks in half. Zhao is incredibly happy about the physical strength the second level of evolution gives. The guy thinks that Bean will be very jealous of such strength. The main character returns back to the academy to examine the premises for the presence of survivors. Zhao wanders for a long time through broken classrooms and rooms. During all this time, he has not met a single living person. The guy finds a working shower. He's going to wash off the dirt and get himself in decent shape. Zhao sits on the couch and watches TV. The news channel reports an outbreak of an unknown biochemical virus. The guy hears rustling noises coming from the closet. He quickly jumps off the sofa and approaches the source of the sound. Zhao suddenly opens the closet doors and raises his fire axe to strike. There is a young girl in the closet. She screams loudly and asks for mercy. Trying to calm the girl down, the guy tells her that he is a human and not a zombie. The girl is very scared. She constantly cries. The guy tries to calm her down. The girl's name is Chung. She is a student in the fine arts department. Chung says that he and his friend were very scared and hungry. Leeson offered them food and protection. When the girls went up to the second floor, they began to be intimidated and humiliated. Chung's friend could not stand it and jumped down. Zhao remembers well the girl who jumped from the second floor yesterday. The terrible picture of the girl's death is before the guy's eyes. Chung says that zombies made their way to the second floor. Hooligans used the window to go down. The girl was afraid to jump from the window and hid in the closet. Zhao considers the bullies to be moral monsters because they ran away and left the girl to be eaten by zombies. Chung asks the main character what his name is. The guy answers that his name is Zhao. The girl has heard a lot about Zhao's heroic deeds. She is delighted with how the guy taught Leeson a lesson. Zhao tells the girl that there is nothing heroic in his action. He believes that any well-mannered person should have acted this way. The guy realizes that the girl is very hungry and offers her some food and water. Cheng starts crying again. She is very happy that Zhao is next to her. New friend Zhao asks permission to take a shower since she has been in the closet for a very long time. Chung gets out of the shower and heads towards the sofa where Zhao is sitting. The girl sits down next to the main character and starts crying again. The guy says that he has never seen such whiny girls. Chung says that she again remembered how her friend jumped from the second floor. The girl cannot calm down. She says that currently zombies are everywhere, and she does not know what to do. Zhao tells the girl that he heard on the news how the government created a base for survivors, and suggests that the girl get to the base together. Chung accepts the guy's offer and thanks him for his help and care. Zhao invites the girl to change into the clothes he took from the dorm. Chung cannot contain his emotions. The girl approaches the guy and kisses him deeply. Chung tells Zhao that she doesn't have the money to pay him back and suggests they discuss alternative options. Zhao did not expect such a proposal from the girl. The guy cannot contain his anger and irritation. Chung tells the guy that he misunderstood everything. Her feelings are selfless and sincere. Cheng asks the guy if he kissed girls before her. The guy reacts strongly to her words. Chung is happy about the fact that she is the first girl that a guy has kissed in his life. People can be heard asking for help over the speakerphone. They report that they are in the radio room. Zhao realizes that there are living people in the university. He intends to save the trapped people. A huge number of zombies roam the corridors of the university. They move slowly and emit eerie howls. A group of people escape to the radio room of the university. They barricaded the front door in the hope of protecting themselves from zombies. Zhao climbs a tree opposite the radio room and tries to draw people's attention to himself. The radio room window opens and the people inside loudly greet the guy. Zhao orders people to speak quietly and not make noise, as a loud voice may attract the attention of zombies. The main character is going to throw a rope to people so that they get out of the radio room. The people in the radio room securely fasten the rope, and with the help of it, one by one they go down to the street. Zhao looks around as Chung helps people get out of the university building. One of the guys couldn't hold the rope. He falls to the ground and screams loudly. The guy's fall was too loud. It attracted the attention of nearby zombies. Zhao orders everyone to run to the car park next to the university. People rush headlong towards a car parked in a parking lot. Zhao tries to organize and calm people down. He demands that they let the girl go ahead. The rescued people do not listen to the guy. They take up all the seats in the car and try to drive away the clumsy classmate who has attracted the attention of the zombies. Chung doesn't want to get into the car. She asks Zhao for permission to stay with him. Zhao tells the girl that staying with him will be very dangerous for her. He wants the girl to go to a safe place. Chung asks Zhao to look carefully at her classmates. She believes that it will be unsafe to be around them. Classmates swear loudly they continue to share seats in the car. Zhao is dissatisfied with the way the classmates he saved behave. He demands that they not turn into pathetic, selfish creatures. Classmates hesitantly make excuses to Zhao and leave the university premises. Zhao tells the girl that a zombie is about to appear. They need to take refuge in a safe place as quickly as possible. Zhao and Chung use an abandoned cafe as a shelter. The girl has prepared noodles. She's going to feed the guy. Zhao is surprised by how beautiful and appetizing the girl's noodles look. Chung hopes that the guy will really like the dish she has prepared. Zhao does not stop praising the girl. He says that he has not eaten such delicious hot food for a long time. Chung considers Zhao to be his boyfriend. The main character takes this information to heart. The girl does not understand why Zhao reacted so sharply to her words. She wants to thank the guy with her love and care. Zhao tells Chung that he saved her because of moral principles. The guy does not want to receive a reward for saving the girl. Chung continues to insist. She tells Zhao that she likes him very much. The main character asks the girl to immediately stop such conversations. Chung starts crying. She is very upset because the guy doesn't like her. Zhao tells the girl that the reason is not her, but that he has a loved one. Chung reacts very strongly when he finds out that Zhao's lover is Shin. Chung believes that the guy has very little chance since Shin is a famous girl from a rich family. The girl thinks that she will be able to survive only if a strong man is next to her. Chung tells the guy that she is quite happy with being his mistress. Zhao and Cheng go down to the basement of the building, where there is a large car park. Young people choose a new modern SUV with increased power. Cheng tells the guy that she has always dreamed of driving a modern, expensive car. Zhao takes out a map. The guy tries to find the place where the survivor's base is located. Suddenly, a group of people appears in front of the car. Cheng suddenly slams on the brake. There is a girl on the road accompanied by two guys. They ask you to open the car doors and let them in. Zhao and Cheng realize that the strangers are human and agree to give them a ride. Zhao asks strangers where they are going to go. The unfamiliar girl avoids answering. The main character asks strangers how they ended up on the highway. The unfamiliar girl says that she, her boyfriend, and brother were hiding nearby. The stranger's name is Kate, and she says that Zhao and Cheng are the perfect couple. Kate asks Zhao what is in his bag. The girl says that they haven't eaten anything for a long time. Kate offers the guy her expensive brand watch in exchange for food and water. Zhao shares food with new acquaintances. He gives the girl 3 small sausages. Kate's brother is unhappy with the amount of food Zhao shared, saying that there should be a lot more supplies in the bag. Cheng responds to new acquaintances. The girl says that food is now a valuable resource, and it is not enough for them themselves. Kate's brother is very dissatisfied with the girl's answer. He cannot hide his irritation. Kate hands her brother a sausage. She tries to calm him down and change the topic of conversation. Cheng sees something terrible on the road. She asks Zhao to immediately look ahead. Ahead on the road, there is an overturned car, into which angry zombies are trying to climb. Young people drive past a broken car. They realize that it was their classmates. Zhao demands not to stop and continue the path. Some of the zombies separate from their group and try to catch up with the young people. Cheng believes that his classmates deserved this fate because they behaved selfishly and disgustingly. Kate understands that they are going to the city. The girl asks to turn to another place, since there are many people in the city who have turned into zombies. Zhao answers Kate. The guy says that he does not intend to turn anywhere, and if they are not on the road, he is ready to drop off his new acquaintances anywhere. Suddenly, Kate's brother pulls out a gun and points it at Zhao's head, demanding that his sister's instructions be followed. Cheng is very frightened. She is trying to pull herself together with difficulty. Kate demands that she follow her commands. Then she will leave the young people alive. Kate says that they are not bad people, but the world has changed recently, and they only need to think about themselves. Kate's boyfriend demands to give up the car and food, in which case he will leave the prisoners alive. Kate laughs loudly and tells Cheng that their gang has already killed 3 people. Cheng intends to stop the car because he realizes that the strangers are not bluffing. Zhao agrees to give up the car and food supplies if he and Cheng are left alive. Kate tells young people that they are sweet and obedient children. Zhao asks Cheng to slow down and park the car on the side of the road. Zhao and Cheng get out of the car. The guy asks the girl not to make sudden movements and leave slowly. Kate's brother says that he has changed his mind. He intends to take Cheng with him. He believes that Zhao is not worthy of having such an attractive and seductive girl as Cheng. Zhao ignores Kate's brother's words. He holds the girl's hand and slowly walks away with her. Kate's brother did not expect such a reaction from the guy. He gets out of the car and showers Zhao with insults. The guy points a gun at the main character and invites him to pray before he dies. Zhao turns sharply and delivers a lightning strike with his fire axe. Kate's brother screams loudly. He lost his right hand in this fight. Cheng can't look at it and covers his face with his hands. Kate and her boyfriend rush at the main character. They intend to avenge their relative. Zhao accurately throws a fire axe. It hits Kate's guy in the head and cuts him down on the spot. The main character, with a well-aimed shot, knocks a huge combat knife out of Kate's hand. Zhao realizes that since he injected the treatment serum for the virus, his reactions have become much faster. Kate asks the guy to spare them and leave them alive. She says that they had no choice. Kate tells Zhao that she and her brother are not guilty of anything, since they were held hostage by her boyfriend. The girl asks to spare her. She promises to fulfill any desires and fantasies that Zhao has. Cheng does not believe a single word the girl says. She considers Kate a deceitful and shameless woman. Kate tells Zhao that she is much better than Cheng, as she is an older and more experienced woman. Zhao promises to leave Kate and her brother alive. The main character understands that the sound of the gunshot will soon attract many zombies here. Kate is very surprised that the guy left her alive and didn't ask for anything in return. Zhao and Cheng get into the car and drive away after a while. Zombies appear at the scene of the fight. Creepy creatures scream loudly and instantly attack Kate and her brother. Cheng can't calm down. The girl is trembling violently. Zhao is thinking about how to calm the girl down. Zhao believes that Cheng is afraid of him. He tells her that he had no choice. Cheng answers the guy. She says that she is fine and needs time to accept the new reality. The girl tells the guy that she's scared not because she saw Zhao killing people, but because she might be left alone. Cheng recalls the terrible moments on the 2nd floor of the library when everyone ran away and left her alone to be eaten by zombies. The girl is grateful that she met Zhao and intends to be a useful member of the team. The young people's path is blocked by many abandoned cars left on the bridge. Zhao and Chung get out of the car and continue on foot. The girl is frightened by the eerie silence that reigns around. She asks Zhao if there could be ghosts here. Zhao believes that it is much better to face ghosts than a crowd of aggressive zombies. Chung hears a strange sound. She rushes to the guy and screams loudly. A large black cat stands in the way of the young people, looking at them in bewilderment. Zhao tells the girl that he hears the sounds of zombies approaching, and tells her that these are not single zombies, but a large group. The guy intends to get closer and find out the reason why the zombies gathered in one place. Several hundred aggressive zombies are trying to enter a large shopping center. People inside the shopping center have barricaded the entrance doors with furniture and are trying to hold off the monsters. Zhao sees a large window on the upper floors of the building and intends to climb up there to see what is happening inside. A young man inside a shopping center comforts his injured sister. People around him demand that the guy immediately throw his sister out into the street because she was bitten by a zombie. The girl demands the guy to immediately get rid of his sister, since she will soon become a zombie and can destroy all the people inside. The guy says that the wounded girl is his own sister, and he cannot raise a hand against her. The girl insists that the guy kill his sister immediately, explaining to him that his sister is no longer human. The guy's name is Dennis. He asks the girl to be more humane, since his wounded sister saved her life. Sister Dennis is conscious. The girl says that she does not want to become an ugly zombie. The surrounding people demand that Dennis immediately get rid of his wounded sister. Otherwise, they will destroy them both. Dennis screams at those around him, threatening to kill anyone who touches his sister. A huge man rushes at Dennis, intending to destroy the guy and his sister. Dennis has excellent boxing skills, which allows him to quickly deal with a huge man. An elderly businessman orders those around him to attack Dennis altogether. Zhao and Chung carefully observe what is happening through the window. They believe that in extreme situations, people are prone to selfishness. The furious battle continues. Dennis repels the attacks of numerous opponents. Zhao is amazed by the tenacity of a guy who is ready to save a loved one at any cost. The main character intends to create a team of such people. The forces are too unequal. The people inside the business center defeat Dennis. A man with a bat approaches the defeated Dennis. He tells him that he will first deal with his sister and then destroy him. A man with a bat approaches the infected girl. Those around him demand that he immediately destroy her. The man raises his bat over his head to strike, and the voices of those around him are heard calling for the monster to be destroyed as quickly as possible. A loud sound of breaking glass is heard. This attracts people's attention. They look up. Zhao and Chung get inside through a broken window. The guy finds this place disgusting. People think that Zhao has appeared to save them and ask the guy to help them immediately. Zhao tells the people below that he can only save one person. An elderly businessman asks to save him. Since he is the president of a famous company, he promises to pay generously for the service. The girl begins to argue with an elderly businessman, considering herself too young and beautiful to die. Zhao shouts to Dennis and asks him what his name is. Dennis says his name. Dennis hopes that there is a way to save his wounded sister. The guy asks not to save Dennis under any circumstances, since his sister was bitten by a zombie. Zhao invites Dennis to join him and become part of the team. Dennis accepts the guy's offer. Zhao tells people that after he saves Dennis and his sister, he will leave a rope so that everyone can get out. The girl apologizes to Dennis for her behavior. She explains this by saying that she was very scared. The girl turns out to be Dennis's fiancée. She says that she still loves the guy very much. The voice of Dennis is heard, telling the girl that now they have nothing in common. Zhao and Cheng examine Sister Dennis. The wounded girl is feeling very bad. Dennis's sister moans quietly and coughs up dark liquid. Soon the girl will turn into a monster. Chung asks Zhao if there is any way to save Dennis's injured sister. Dennis says that he will not leave his sister and will be with her until the very end. Zhao invites his team to leave the business center and find a safe place. The main character and his team find shelter in an abandoned warehouse. Dennis reassures his sister. He promises her to find a doctor soon. Chung considers the situation hopeless. The girl is very worried about Dennis and his sister. Zhao understands that the injured girl is too weak, and even if there is a cure, there is no chance that she will remain human. The main character tells Dennis that there is only one way to help his sister. Dennis asks what this way is. Zhao invites the guy to take the fire axe from him and stop the girl's suffering. Dennis says that even if his sister becomes a zombie, he will not allow anyone to hurt her. Cheng invites the guy to look at the situation realistically. The girl believes that her sister cannot be saved. The wounded sister tells Dennis that she doesn't want to turn into an ugly zombie. She asks her brother to kill her before she attacks everyone. Sister Dennis asks Zhao and Cheng to look after her brother after her death. Zhao promises the girl to keep an eye on her brother and not let him do anything stupid. The wounded sister Dennis tells her brother that she will watch him from heaven and lose his consciousness. Dennis cries and screams loudly. He tries to bring his sister back to consciousness. Zhao demands Dennis to immediately destroy the girl, as she has begun to turn into a zombie. Sister Dennis has turned into a zombie. She makes inarticulate sounds and begins to approach her brother. Zhao understands that Dennis cannot raise a hand against his sister even after she became a zombie. The main character delivers a precise blow and destroys the monster. A large fire is burning in the backyard of the warehouse. Dennis and his new friend say goodbye to his sister. Zhao extends his hand to Dennis and invites the guy to join his squad. The main character and his friends decide to spend the night in an expensive hotel. Zhao introduces Dennis to Chung. The guy briefly talks about himself and his new girlfriend. Chung asks Dennis to tell about herself, since the girl knows nothing about the guy. Dennis says that he comes from a poor family. Their parents died early and he was left alone with his sister. The guy studied martial art to become a master and feed his sister. Chung asks Dennis not to despair. She is sure that such a good guy will do well in the future. Zhao tells his new friends that he hears the sounds of approaching zombies. Chung is surprised by the protagonist's abilities, since she herself is unable to hear the approaching zombies. Zhao temporarily acquires the ability not only to hear zombies, but also to clearly see them from a distance. The girl does not understand where the zombies in the corridor could have come from, because before that they checked the entire hotel. Zhao invites Dennis to go out into the corridor and immediately deal with the zombies. The main character asks Dennis to turn off his fear. He tells the guy that this will help in the battle. The zombies in the corridor discover the students and immediately rush to attack. Zhao, with the help of his fire axe, deftly deals with numerous zombies, and for each killed monster, he is awarded points. Dennis barely fights off the zombies, while another monster sneaks up on him from behind. The zombie, who crept up from behind, jumps on Dennis and knocks the guy to the floor. Cheng opens the door of the room and screams loudly. The loud noise attracts the attention of the zombies, which saves Dennis from imminent death, as all the monsters rush at the girl. Dennis continues to fight the zombie, but cannot cope with it and throw it aside. Zhao and Chung watch his struggle. The girl asks the guy why he doesn't want to help his new friend. Zhao believes that Dennis should cope on his own, since the guy does not need a weakling on the team. Zhao invites the girl to leave and leave Dennis alone with the zombie that attacked him. Dennis becomes furious at Zhao's words. He throws off the zombie and begins to vigorously beat the monster. Zhao and Chung carefully watch Dennis's fight. The girl is surprised where the guy got so much strength. Zhao approaches Dennis to stop the guy. He tells him that the zombie is already dead. Dennis is in a state of clouded consciousness. He turns to Zhao and raises his hand to strike. Zhao effectively blocks the guy's blow and tells his new friend to calm down. Dennis is very angry with Zhao because the guy did not help him in difficult times, but simply watched the fight indifferently. Zhao responds to Dennis, saying that he saved him so that the guy would help fight and not be a useless burden. Zhao wants Dennis to stop thinking about his sister and not show pity towards the monsters. Dennis apologizes to Zhao and asks for forgiveness for being too impulsive and not understanding the guy's actions. Dennis thanks Zhao for saving him and promises not to be so soft in the future. Zhao and his friends watch a news broadcast that states that the government has created a base where they are collecting all the survivors. Cheng asks Zhao why he is so upset. The guy tells her that the base will not solve all problems. Zhao says that tens of millions of people live in the province, and the base can accommodate no more than 100,000. The guy worries about the fate of people who will not have time to get into the protective base. In addition, Zhao is worried about where the government will get resources to support people's livelihoods. Chung wonders what they will do next, go to the base or stay in the city. Zhao decides that he needs to move towards the base, but not to place high hopes on it. The main character tells his friends that they don't need to trust everyone and rely only on themselves. The conversation between Zhao and his friends is interrupted by a laser beam that appears in their room. Zhao realizes that the laser beam is coming from the opposite building. He goes to the window to determine the source of the radiation. In the building opposite, there are people who begin to be very happy that they saw Zhao and his team in the next building. Zhao begins to shout to the people in the building opposite, but the guy quickly realizes that they are far away and cannot hear him. Dennis tells his friends that he masters the art of conveying information through gestures. The guy is trying to convey information using gestures, but the people in the building opposite do not understand him. Zhao is going to cross the street and help the trapped survivors. Wiping is the CEO of the company, and he and his employees are in a locked building. Company employees tell Wiping that they saw living people in the hotel opposite. Wiping takes the binoculars from his subordinate and carefully peers at the building opposite. The CEO tells his staff that he doesn't see 3 students. The chairman of the company named Binyan and her secretary enter the office. Wiping reports to the company chairman that employees have found 3 students in the building across the street. He believes that the students are not able to help and save the company's employees. The secretary of the company's chairman is called Tong, and she asks Wiping how the corporation's employees are feeling. Wiping reports that people are very hungry and demoralized, and employees have not eaten for 2 days. The CEO of the company asks Tong for permission to send a detachment to explore and get food. The girl believes that such an outing would be unsafe. Wiping responds to Binyan. He says that it is necessary to do something, and not sit still, waiting for help. Binyan suggests contacting the military, and expecting help, she believes that employees should not risk their lives. Binyan asks employees to have faith in the government and not lose hope. She hopes that everyone will be rescued soon. Weiping harbors a grudge against Binyan. He considers his boss a stupid woman. Mr. Yamada comes into the room. He is very dissatisfied with the current situation. Yamada demands a safe evacuation for him immediately, or he threatens to file a lawsuit when he returns home. Binyan and Tong apologize to Mr. Yamada. They deeply regret that the outbreak caused him inconvenience. Binyan promises Mr. Yamada to fully compensate for all losses after the situation returns to normal. The chairman of the company asks Weiping to take Mr. Yamada to the office to rest. Tong's secretary doubts that the military will send anyone to rescue the corporation's employees. Binyan asks Tong not to escalate the situation. She believes that the government will organize an evacuation soon. Tong is worried about the current situation and informs Binyan that there is almost no food left. Binyan hopes that the military and rescuers will find them and provide assistance in the near future. Mr. Yamada greatly regrets visiting the corporate office and expresses his dissatisfaction with the secretaries. Weiping asks Mr. Yamada to give him some food. The CEO says he hasn't eaten for several days. Mr. Yamada answers Weiping that he does not intend to share food supplies with him. He demands that he not interfere with his rest and leave the office immediately. At the last moment, Mr. Yamada asks Weiping to stop. He promises to share food with him if the CEO fulfills his request. Mr. Yamada tells Weiping that Binyan is the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. He promises to share food if the CEO brings the girl to him. Weiping finds such a request very difficult since Binyan is his boss. Yamada promises to appoint Weiping as a director of the company if he complies with his request. Weiping considers such an offer a godsend and agrees to fulfill Mr. Yamada's request. Mr. Yamada throws a loaf of bread to the CEO and says that he always keeps his word. Zhao and his friends enter the building where the corporation's employees are located. Chung notices that there is deathly silence in the building. Dennis assumes that the zombies have left the room. Zhao informs his friends that there are at least 20 zombies on the floor. Dennis and Chung are very surprised at the guy's abilities, since they themselves do not hear any suspicious sounds. Zhao activates the virtual vault, and mannequins with huge battle swords appear in front of him. He takes a combat sword from one of the mannequins and hands it to the surprised Dennis. The guy believes that Dennis's effectiveness will greatly increase if he uses a combat sword. Dennis appreciates the combat sword, noting its sharp edge and good balance. A loud roar is heard, and a moment later a crowd of angry zombies attacks Zhao and his friends. Zhao asks Dennis to stay put and protect Chung while he deals with the zombies. Weiping comes into Binyan's office and tells the girl that he has an important proposal that needs to be discussed. Tong asks the CEO what he wants to offer Binyan. Weiping tells the girls that they have no food left and are in danger of not surviving until rescuers arrive. The CEO reports that he and Mr. Yamada have come up with a plan to save the corporation's employees. Tong warns Binyan. She says that she feels threatened by Mr. Yamada. Weiping invites the girls to go to Mr. Yamada's office to discuss the rescue plan together. Dennis, using his combat sword, mercilessly destroys aggressive zombies. Chung is very surprised by the effective sword technique that Dennis uses. Zhao and his team approach the elevator. They decide that it will be unsafe to use the elevator. They decide to use the ventilation shaft to get to the upper floors. Weiping asks Mr. Yamada for permission to enter the office to discuss the rescue plan. Mr. Yamada lounges imposingly in his chair and greets Binyan and Tong. Binyan is ready to discuss the rescue plan that Mr. Yamada came up with together with Weiping. Tong looks carefully at the table where there is a large amount of food. She expresses her dissatisfaction with Mr. Yamada. He has large supplies, but nevertheless he asks for food. Mr. Yamada answers her. He says that he forgot about the food that was in his luggage. Tong does not believe Mr. Yamada's words. She believes that in such a difficult moment it is necessary to share food with other people. The chairman of the Binyan company tries to calm Tong down. The girl believes that now is not the time to escalate the situation. Mr. Yamada pounces on Binyan and offers the girls his food supplies in exchange for the favor. Tong is very shocked by Yamada's behavior and demands that such behavior stop immediately. Mr. Yamada says he will pay for the service with a huge amount of food. He throws the chairman of the Binyan company onto a chair and attacks the girl. Tong demands the immediate release of Binyan and rushes to the aid of the defenseless girl. Weiping stops Tong, who is running towards his boss, and he strikes her with a strong blow. Mr. Yamada praises Weiping. He tells the man that it is a good job. Binyan screams loudly and calls for help. She demands to be released immediately. Yamada tells the girl that no one will hear her screams, since the office is well soundproofed, and the corporation's employees are in the conference room. Suddenly, Zhao and his team fall into the room. The ventilation shaft passed through Mr. Yamada's office. Zhao carefully looks around the room and immediately understands what is happening here. Tong shouts loudly, asking Zhao and his friends to protect them from Mr. Yamada and Weiping. Mr. Yamada calls the students idiots and demands that they leave the office premises immediately. Chung tells Mr. Yamada that such behavior is disgusting and demands that the company chairman be released immediately. Dennis calls Yamada and Waping vile creatures. The guy intends to destroy them both. Mr. Yamada knows martial arts. He deftly dodges Dennis's blow and gets into a fighting stance. Dennis realizes that despite his unimpressive appearance, Mr. Yamada is a serious opponent. Tong runs up to Binyan. She tries to calm her down and says that everything will be fine. Mr. Yamada demands that Dennis put away his sword, suggesting that he fight unarmed like a man. Dennis agrees and puts his combat sword aside, relying on his skills and strength in hand-to-hand combat. Mr. Yamada declares that he will destroy the guy. He delivers a series of powerful blows. Dennis successfully blocks the enemy's attacks and prepares for a counterattack. Cheng asks if Dennis needs help. Zhao replies that the guy can handle it on his own. Mr. Yamada jumps and hits Dennis with both legs. The guy continues to deftly defend himself. Dennis successfully implements the hold and applies a throw, causing Mr. Yamada to fall to the floor. Mr. Yamada cannot get up after a successful technique. He lies on the floor and wheezes quietly. Dennis decides not to finish off his opponent. He turns and heads towards his friends. At this time, Mr. Yamada takes out a knife and tries to attack the unsuspecting guy from behind. Dennis blocks the enemy's hand, which contains the knife, and strikes him with a strong blow to the head. Chung is very outraged by the behavior of Mr. Yamada, since he suggested fighting in hand-to-hand combat, and he himself cowardly used edged weapons. Dennis thanks Zhao for helping him choose the right path to protect the weak and defenseless. Zhao believes that Dennis has always been a fair and noble young man. The doors to the office open and excited corporate employees rush into the room. Waping falls to his knees. He says that Mr. Yamada forced him to do this, and asks for mercy. Tong is full of anger and hatred. The girl approaches Waping and strikes him hard. The corporation's employees attack Waping, intending to beat up the traitor. Binyan orders the beating to stop. She wants the corporation employees to tie up Yamada and Waping and lock them in a utility room. Mr. Yamada tells the corporation employees that they do not know who they are dealing with and demands that they release him immediately. Tong and the chairman of Binyan thank Zhao and his friends for their assistance. Binyan tries to calm down after suffering an attack. Her assistant Tong meets Zhao and his team. Chung recognizes Binyan as a business academy graduate who is an honorary representative of the university. Zhao recalls that last summer he came to Binyan for an internship, but his application was rejected. Binyan answers the guy. She tells him that the company's employees are highly qualified specialists who made a fair decision. Binyan believes that refusing the internship was the right decision, but promises to study applicants more carefully in the future. One of the company employees asks Binyan when the military will come to their aid. He tells the girl that they have no connection with the outside world. Zhao tells company employees not to rely heavily on military help. The man is upset by this information. He hopes that there is some way out of this situation and asks Zhao to help them. Zhao says that there are a large number of zombies around the building, and if you get out, they will immediately attack people. The voice of the main character is heard, telling Binyan that he has options for salvation, but he and his friends need to get a good rest first. Binyan and her subordinates leave the office. The girl asks her assistant to find plans for the building in preparation for the evacuation. A corporate employee asks Binyan if she has any food left. He tells the girl that people haven't eaten for several days. Tong answers the man. She says that all the food available has already been distributed to the company's employees earlier. A man comes into the room. He is in high spirits and says that he has food. Binyan realizes that the man is holding a backpack that belongs to Zhao. The man says that as soon as the three teenagers left the office, he snuck inside and stole their backpack with food. Binyan is outraged by the actions of her employee and demands that the backpack be returned immediately. The man believes that it is impossible to think about morality at this time and offers to eat the stolen food. Binyan continues to consider his employee's act immoral, since the backpack was stolen from people who were going to help them. A corporate employee tells Binyan that the students are bluffing. He has explored the building and believes that there is no other way out other than the ventilation shaft. The men intend to eat the stolen food and then go on reconnaissance to inspect the surrounding area. Using a ventilation shaft, a corporation employee descends to the first floor of the building. Other men join him. They try not to make noise so as not to attract the attention of the zombies. The man tells his colleagues that the students have been deceiving them since they do not observe any zombies. Corporation employees are walking along the first floor of the building. They believe that Zhao and his friends have misled the company's chairman. Suddenly, one of the men sees a dead zombie around the corner. He is very scared and is unable to contain his scream. The squad leader notices an unusual object on the dead zombie's waist belt. The excited exclamations of the corporation's employees can be heard. The dead zombie had the keys to all the premises of the task hanging on his belt. Suddenly, the man is grabbed by the arm, and the zombie lying on the floor begins to move. The corporation's employees run back in horror. The zombie gets to its feet and begins to slowly walk towards people. The zombie growls loudly. He stretches his arms forward and runs towards the frightened people. The man grabs a large stone statue and hits it on the zombie's head with all his might. Corporation employees praise the man. They say that he is a brave warrior. Zhao and his friends are walking down a long corridor. They think that people who call themselves the elite are pretty stupid when it comes to security. Zhao considers the management's decision to block the door of their company and leave the entrance open very stupid. The guy says that the higher a person's position, the more responsibility he should have to his subordinates. Chung believes that Zhao is a natural leader with strong analytical skills. Zhao and his friends enter the office. They immediately notice that a backpack has disappeared from the table. The students come to the office of the chairman of the Binyan Corporation. They tell her that their backpack is missing. Young people see empty food packaging in the office that was in their backpack. They demand immediate explanations. Zhao asks Binyan why the corporation employees treated them so meanly. Tong agrees that this act is disgusting and is willing to compensate for any inconvenience caused in the future. Dennis says that Tong and the corporation's employees are unscrupulous people who repaid their help with theft. Binyan explains that the food was needed to feed the men who went on exploration, and they would soon return with provisions. Zhao believes that the corporation's employees may not return. He asks Binyan how much time has passed since they left. Binyan and Tong try to remember what time the employees left. They think more than 2 hours have passed. With the help of the found keys, the men enter the restaurant and eat the prepared lunch with great pleasure. One of the employees offers to go back. His colleague does not want to go back and suggests creating his own squad. The man says that he is tired of obeying stupid management, and besides, they have keys to all rooms of the building and food supplies. The corporation's employees decide to stay and appoint a man named Chun as their commander. Chun tells them that they have always been good colleagues. He thanks them for their trust. The man believes that they will have a better chance of staying alive if they act on their own. The conversation of the corporation's employees is interrupted by a loud sound. The men stop eating and turn around. Chun orders the corporation's employees to suppress their fear. He says that zombies are stupid and slow creatures that can be destroyed without any problems. The men arm themselves with improvised objects and sticks and take a defensive position. The door to the restaurant is broken down by a zombie rushing inside. He is very different from the monsters the men had seen before. The men are very surprised at how fast the zombie moves. Tong is very worried that the reconnaissance squad of the corporation's employees has not yet returned. Zhao tells the girls that most likely the corporation's employees are already dead. Tong demands that the students immediately rescue the men who went on reconnaissance. Dennis does not intend to help the corporation employees after they stole their food. Their argument is interrupted by Zhao, who reports that they have the opportunity to save people in trouble. But to do this, he asks them to beg him. Tong reacts emotionally to the guy's words. She believes that the young man is insubordinate. Zhao states that any service must be paid for, especially for such as rescuing corporate employees. Binyan agrees to the guy's terms. She begs him to save his employees. Zhao finds Binyan's words insincere and unconvincing, and asks her to try harder. The guy tells Binyan that people like her have always been at the top of the social ladder and considered themselves better than others. But now the world has changed. Chung believes that it is necessary to help the corporation's trapped employees. Zhao answers the girl. The guy says that he will definitely help people, but he had to teach the arrogant Binyan a lesson. Dennis is about to go to the bottom floor with Zhao. The guy asks him to stay in order to protect the girls. In case of a zombie attack, Zhao asks you to hide in one of the rooms and wait for him. Chung asks the guy to be careful and says that he will look forward to his return. Zhao uses the ventilation shaft to reach the first floor of the building. The guy's attention is drawn to the open door. He is about to check the room. Zhao notices a strange noise coming from the boxes in the corner. The guy comes closer and sees that behind the boxes are the bodies of corporation employees who were torn to pieces by zombies. Zhao feels that he is not alone in the room. He takes out his fire axe and gets into a fighting stance. A huge zombie comes out to meet the guy. He looks attentively at Zhao and growls loudly. Zhao sees that the zombie that stands in front of him is very different from the slow and unintelligent monsters he has encountered before. The guy understands that this type of zombie is mutated. It is much faster and stronger than ordinary zombies. The monster rushes at the guy. Zhao dodges its blows with great difficulty. He strikes with his fire axe, but the zombie jumps and dodges the blow. The guy with great difficulty manages to fend off the blows of the mutated zombie. Zhao throws an empty box at the monster to distract its attention. The zombie roars loudly and looks around the room. He cannot understand where the guy hid. Zhao jumps off the cabinet he was hiding on and hits the zombie in the head with his axe. The guy is attracted by a strange crystal that is in the head of a defeated monster. The voice of a virtual god is heard congratulating Zhao for finding the core. The virtual god reveals that the core is a crystal that was formed in the mutant's brain, which can be used to increase one's own characteristics. Zhao remembers that for killing zombies, he is awarded stats and experience points. The guy is going to exchange the crystal and purchase points for food and weapons in a virtual store. The virtual god informs the guy that the white crystal he has can only be exchanged for a small amount of food. Zhao notices the remains of lunch on the floor. He realizes that the corporation employees have decided to betray Binyan. The guy returns to the upper floors. He runs into the room in a joyful mood and reports that he brought his friends a lot of tasty things. Zhao is in an empty room. He cannot understand where his friends went. The guy hears cries for help. He opens the door of the next room and rushes inside. Dennis is sitting on the floor, holding the wounded Chung in his arms and asking the girl not to die. Tong demands that Mr. Yamada release Binyan immediately, or she threatens to destroy him. Mr. Yamada and Wei Ping manage to escape from the warehouse and took Binyan hostages. Zhao immediately rushes to Chung. He asks his friend what happened while he was away. Dennis says that Mr. Yamada and his accomplice broke out. Chung tried to protect Binyan and received a mortal wound. Tong plaintively asks the protagonist to help her save the chairman of the Binyan Corporation. Chung apologizes for not staying in her room and getting into a fight. Mr. Yamada says that the girl is to blame herself. She should not have tried to protect Binyan. Zhao goes into a state of rage. He is angry that the management did not organize reliable security for the prisoners. Zhao tries to stop the bleeding. He asks the girl not to talk or make sudden movements. Chung tells Zhao that at the very beginning of their communication, she did not have feelings for him. Cheng's voice is heard telling Zhao that she fell in love with him later. The girl says that over time she realized that Zhao was a good guy with whom she felt safe. Cheng did not count much on mutual feelings. She was quite happy with being a comrade in arms. The girl wishes Zhao to find a good partner in life in the future and asks him to take care of her. Zhao cannot contain his emotions. He presses the girl tightly to his chest and screams loudly. Mr. Yamada tells Zhao that his loss is small. He offers the guy Binyan in exchange for his life. Yamada thinks the company's chairman, Binyan, is much more handsome and attractive than Chung. The main character's eyes become bloodshot, and he begins to slowly approach Mr. Yamada. Yamada orders Zhao to stop. He is going to kill the hostage if the guy takes one more step. Zhao says that he is not interested in the life of the hostage, since Chung died because of her. Mr. Yamada reveals that he is not joking. He intends to kill Binyan. Zhao continues to provoke Yamada. The guy says that he doesn't care about Binyan's life. The main character comes very close. This allows him to grab Mr. Yamada's hand and free Binyan. At this time, Wei Ping sneaks up behind Zhao and swings a large vase to hit the guy on the head. Zhao notices Wei Ping approaching him in time and he kicks him hard. The guy disarms Mr. Yamada. He asks who killed Cheng. Wei Ping says in a frightened voice that Chung was killed by Mr. Yamada. Zhao uses a painful technique to twist Mr. Yamada's arm and plunge a sharp knife into it. Binyan tells the guy that Wei Ping is lying. She says that he killed Chung. Wei Ping says he didn't mean to do this. He was just trying to scare the girl. The CEO asks to be spared. He says that he has a small son. Zhao informs him that he will not kill him. The main character reports that he has another way to carry out justice. Zhao goes to the control panel. He presses the button to turn on the siren. People around him have to cover their ears from the loud sound of the siren. They don't understand why the guy turned on the sound signal. The guy informs others that there are a large number of zombies around the building. A loud sound will attract their attention. The zombies hear a loud siren and begin to gather at the entrance to the building. Mr. Yamada calls Zhao crazy. He says that zombies are about to break into the building. Zhao opens the front door to throw Wei Ping outside to the angry zombies. Wei Ping knocks on the doors with all his might. He asks to open the doors and let him inside. A huge number of zombies instantly surround the CEO and attack him. Wei Ping's wild scream is heard, and in a matter of seconds, aggressive monsters tear his body to pieces. Tong is unable to look at what is happening. She turns away and covers her face with her hands. Mr. Yamada asks Zhao to come to his senses. He's trying to pay off with big money. Yamada asks to die at the hands of a human. He does not want to be burned by zombies. Zhao orders him to be locked in a utility room. Zhao passes by Binyan. The girl tries to talk to the guy, but he ignores her and passes by. Binyan sits at her desk. She considers herself to blame for what happened. The corporation employee tells Binyan that the reconnaissance team has not returned and asks the girl about her future plans. Binyan believes that she is unworthy to be the chairman of the company because she's unable to take care of people. The girl is very upset because she allowed the company employees to go on reconnaissance. Binyan believes that she made the wrong decision, which led to the death of people. The girl decides that from now on she will protect her employees and take care of their lives. Zhao sits for a long time opposite the bed on which the body of the murdered Chung is located. The guy believes that Chung should have first of all thought about herself and not save someone else's life at the cost of her own. Binyan opens the door to the room. She stands on the threshold and looks at Zhao sitting in a chair. The guy asks what she is doing here. Binyan replies that she wanted to say goodbye to the man who saved her life. Binyan tells the guy that she knows that he hates her and asks him to help the corporation employees, who are not to blame for anything. Zhao tells the girl that Chung always wanted a dress as expensive as hers, but could not afford it. Binyan says he will organize everything and find an expensive dress for Chung. Zhao says that Chung wanted exactly her dress and asks the girl to undress right now. Binyan believes that the guy just wants to humiliate her. Zhao tells the girl that she is alive only thanks to Chung. Zhao tells her that successful people consider themselves the elite of society, but in reality they are selfish and hypocritical. Binyan understands that all her life she did not give in to anyone and did not respect other people. She believed that all her actions were correct. Binyan tells Zhao that he promised to save the corporation's employees and begins to take off his dress. Zhao tells the girl that no action will bring Chung back to life. He asks Binyan to leave. The main character asks Binyan to gather the corporation's employees in a conference room in an hour. The girl hopes that Zhao will save her people. Zhao asks the girl to leave the room immediately before he changes his mind. The guy asks Chung for forgiveness for not being able to save her. He thanks the girl for her support and faith in him. Zhao carries Chung's body to the balcony on the upper floors of the building. The guy intends to burn Chung's body. He pours gasoline on him and throws a burning lighter. Fire engulfs the girl's body, and the guy's voice is heard saying that he will never forget her. Corporation employees want to know from Zhao how they can leave the building. Dennis tells the guy that after the siren turns on, the building is surrounded by a huge number of zombies. Mr. Yamada calls Zhao. The prisoner asks the guy what he is going to do. The main character asks Mr. Yamada not to worry. He says that he will not kill him and will take him with him. Zhao and the corporation's employees are slowly moving through a narrow ventilation shaft. Through the ventilation grill, people observe a large number of zombies inside the building. Tong is very worried. The girl is afraid that they will all die. Binyan calms down his secretary. Zhao ties Mr. Yamada's arms with rope and throws him down as zombie bait. Mr. Yamada is hanging in the air at a considerable distance from the zombies. The monsters are trying to reach him. Zhao tells the corporation employees that they need to hurry while Mr. Yamada distracts the zombies. Corporation employees climb out of the ventilation shaft and move towards the exit. People try to open the door, but the entrance door to the building is locked. Binyan informs those present that there is a fire exit on the other side of the building. Mr. Yamada's secretaries remain in the ventilation shaft, trying to save their boss. The girls pull the rope and drag Mr. Yamada into the ventilation shaft. Yamada hugs the girls tightly and thanks them for saving him from certain death. A moment later, Mr. Yamada grabs the girls and throws them down into a crowd of angry zombies. In a sarcastic manner, Mr. Yamada says that he will take care of the girls' families when he arrives home. While the secretaries distract the zombies' attention to themselves, Yamada flees for her life. People quickly run to the fire exit, located on the opposite side of the building. Suddenly, their attention is drawn to the sound of car brakes and gunshots. Mr. Yamada appears in the building, and from a car he shoots at people with a gun. Zhao realizes the gravity of the situation and orders everyone to find shelter immediately. Mr. Yamada continues to shoot randomly and non-stop at the corporation's employees. Zhao and Binyan took cover behind a nearby wall. The guy is considering his further actions. Tong was unable to maintain her balance. She fell to the floor. The girl lies in the open space and screams loudly. Mr. Yamada believes that people do not have the slightest chance to survive. He intends to kill every single one. Dennis grabs the dining table, with which he intends to protect himself from bullets, and rushes to Tong's aid. The guy takes Tong in his arms and tries to reach the shelter as quickly as possible. The girl begins to get very hysterical. She clings to Dennis and thanks him for saving her. Mr. Yamada continues to mercilessly shoot corporate employees. Binyan is going to help his subordinates, but Zhao forbids the girl to come out of hiding. Dennis doesn't know what to do next. He asks Zhao if he has any plan. Zhao uses his ring and activates the virtual store system. The virtual god informs the guy that he does not have the opportunity to buy good weapons. Zhao asks for items on loan. The virtual god informs the guy that he cannot lend things from the store. He is forced to follow the rules. Dennis and Binyan carefully watch the guy. They don't understand who he's talking to. Zhao asks Dennis to distract Mr. Yamada's attention. The guy looks out from behind the table and calls Yamada a fat freak. While Mr. Yamada was trying to destroy Dennis, Zhao sneaked up on him from the back of the car. Zhao tells Mr. Yamada that the last seconds of his life are coming. The guy presses a button and activates an explosive device, which he quietly threw under the bottom of the car. Young people watch as Mr. Yamada's car burns out. Dennis is very surprised where Zhao got the explosive device and asks the guy about it. Binyan sees that almost all of the corporation's employees have been destroyed. She cannot hold back her tears. Zhao tells the remaining people that there will be zombies here soon and they need to leave this place immediately. The main character examines the local area and intends to find a working car. Of all the corporation's employees, Tong, Binyan, and a young girl were the only survivors. Binyan believes that she cannot be the chairman of the company because she failed to protect her subordinates. Dennis realizes that the girls have nowhere to go, and they have no escape plan. He invites them to join him and Zhao. The main character asks Dennis when he started making decisions alone. Dennis asks the guy to take the girls with him, since otherwise they will be destroyed by zombies. He says that if Chung had survived, she would definitely have taken the girls with her. Zhao agrees with the guy's proposal and asks him to quickly take a seat in the truck. Dennis tells the girls that they have little time left. He asks them to hurry up and get into the car.